Since I had to wait 7 days to play this on a new account, I used my main alt account, which had some money on it already. So I started off by trying to beg someone for a gun, because I needed to drain the money I already had on the account. Unfortunately, they didn't give me anything, so I went to find another person. But in doing so, a riot started and I found a service rifle off the ground. I quickly stole it and stored it in my backpack. After that, I quickly donated all the money I had to set my account to 0. I soon began trying to sell my service rifle for cheap, but nobody was accepting. I decided I needed to start a shop to sell my guns at, so I went and claimed a shop plot. I designed my store and started trying to sell the service rifle. Nobody was coming into my store, so I went to sell on the streets. Unfortunately, I got shot down right away. I entered a car dealership and asked the owner if he wanted to purchase a gun from me. Unfortunately, he refused, so I moved on. I heard gunshots, so I went towards them in hopes of finding a dropped gun, but the police got to it first. I then proceeded to ask these two players if they would want to buy a gun, but to my surprise, he gifted me $50,000. As kind as this was, I had to give it away, since I can't accept cash donations. I found a paramedic in the streets and donated him the $50K. I started trying to sell in my store again and finally got a customer. Unfortunately, he asked for a gun I couldn't purchase yet because I didn't have enough money. Once again, I got donated $2,000 this time. I was going to donate the $2K to this guy through the wall, but the police shot him down. The same paramedic from before came into my shop and I donated the $2K to him. Since I had enough from my paychecks, I added handgun to my list of guns. I found a plot that said huge giveaway, so I went inside and asked for guns. The player inside shot me and ran away. I suddenly had the idea to become a police officer so that I could kill raiders for their guns. Right off of spawn, this guy with a battle rifle died and I was able to collect it. Right after, I started clipping this guy with my pistol, but I died just before him. I switched back to being a gunsmith because I had a new plan. I was gonna use my paycheck money to purchase a fast-shooting concealed weapon and try to get a car for free by shooting their hand through the glass. Out of sheer luck, I found a classic revolver lying on the ground as well. We negotiated a bit and I almost had him, but he withdrew the item last second. This guy also randomly dropped me a heavy rifle. I came back to the shop and started customizing it a bit. The guy I tricked earlier came back and killed me. After finishing, I switched servers because this server was dying. I became a police officer and came back to open my shop, but the plot was claimed. I ran into the bank and picked up a Magnum pistol. I found this outlaw and arrested him for $400. I tried arresting this guy but ended up killing him instead. I server hopped again and found a guy who was willing to buy my battle rifle for $4K. Next, I found this player who was willing to buy the heavy rifle for $4.5K. Desperate for a sale, I sold my service rifle to this guy for $1,800. I switched to a US Marshal and made an arrest for $400 here. I tracked down the mayor in hopes of a government paycheck and after a while finally got him to cough up the money. The sheriff had also gifted me a free supercar. After a while I came back into town and found a micro SMG on the ground. I then returned to the mayor where sold both the supercar and the classic revolver. I went into town one last time trying to sell some of my guns but didn't have any luck. So our grand total for part 1 comes out to $22,600, plus a couple guns from my inventory.